So I was at work this week. I was at the restaurant. This dude got a pizza. So I'm grating Parmesan cheese on his pizza, you know, and out of nowhere, it's like, you know, you have that feeling, and it's like, you're like, oh, it's like my chest hurts a little too much for a little too long right now. And so I'm grating his cheese, and my chest kind of hurts like right in here, and I'm like sitting here, I'm going, and then I'm done, and I put it down, and then well, and then I leave. I'm like, oh man, I was like, that was weird, and it's feeling better. And then the real question started setting in. I was like, so this is the scenario. Here's the scenario. I just sit here, I just croak. I'm done. and everybody's called 911. I'm in the ambulance being rushed to the hospital with a Hail Mary final attempt to revive me. Does the dude then continue to eat the pizza? Or is he... Oh. Yeah, like, so I'm done. I'm dead. I'm gone. Does he go, well, that was weird. All right. Like, it's like...
you?
Can I speak to your manager, please?
Yeah, you? I don't know. It's like, does that all of a sudden just fill my stomach with food? No. So I feel like
I'm still hungry.
Yeah.
I'd eat while I was waiting, for sure. You gotta wait for the ambulance.
Yeah. Oh, wait. I'm talking about after I've left. You're talking about on the way. The ambulance isn't even here. I'm on the ground dead, and you're gonna...
Yeah, I'm eating.
Yeah, probably.
We don't know you're dead.
I could be. That was it. I'm just...
But it hasn't been pronounced by a doctor, so...
It's not real.
Honestly, that kind of brings up a good point that I've always wondered, like, in all of our heads, or at least in my head, maybe I'm the only one, but, like, I always would like to think that in certain situations like that, for example, I would, like, spring into action, try to do something, but when push comes to shove, I'm like...
Okay, so I got
down there.
Is there an adult?
I've got a perfect story
Let's
that
hear it.
has to do with that. Okay, I was working at the ropes course at the Jones Center way back in the day, and
It was a Wednesday.
it was a Wednesday. There was, and kids come through. They do the ropes course, the high elements, and you're their belayer. You have to hold the rope and everything. Yeah. Well, to get up to the high elements, it's basically like a telephone pole with removable spikes. The foot, the steps, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
These aren't sharp at all. It's a piece of metal and it curves up on the end so your foot doesn't slide off the edge. It had just started raining, and we were kind of trying to decide whether we were still going to go through with it. It stopped, so we went out. This one kid got on the rope and like he started stepping up, and he was literally one step up, okay, and he froze, and he's like, I'm afraid of heights. I'm like, okay, well,
you're in the wrong spot.
Then you can come down. Like, he was literally like, I could grab him and set him down, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm like, all right, well, come on down. And as he comes down, his foot slips, and he goes down, and his leg is like resting on the bottom step.
Yeah.
And he's laying there, and the way he was expressing that he was afraid of heights led me to believe that he was a little dramatic. So he was laying on the ground. He goes, that just went into my leg. I'm like, no, it didn't.
Oh, no.
No, it didn't.
You're like, shut up.
And so he pulls his leg off of it. There's no hole in his jeans. I'm like, oh, you're fine. And then he pulls up his pants, and there's a big old hole in his leg.
That's awesome.
The step went into his leg, and then he pulled his leg off of there, right?
That's so metal, dude.
My boss comes over, and he's like, the kid's laying there. He calls 911, and then he tells me, okay, now I do have a lot of first aid experience. I'm an Eagle Scout. Like, I have training, right? I was in Boy Scouts.
Sorry, dude.
Exactly. So I'm supposed to know what to do, right? He tells me to go to our shed to get the first aid kit. And I go over there, and I walk inside. I'm like, what does a first aid kit look like? Like, just went completely blank. I'm like, I don't.
You're like, so
you
you said a first aid kit?
Yeah, I don't know. And so that was probably the day I realized I probably wouldn't be a medic or
Nice.
like.
So in a situation like that, like, if you're the one with the hole in your leg, I guess they called 911. But I feel like I'm the kind of person I would just be like, no, I'm good, dude. I'm good. Just
Same.
like trying to walk away. And like, you want us to call an ambulance? I'm like, no, dude, I'm fine. I'm totally cool.
Yeah, I
Like,
might have gone home.
Yeah, I honestly probably would have gone home and wrapped it.
I saw his bone and his muscle. Like, it went in between, like, behind his shin.
How was
and
he
in front of
reacting?
I mean,
He was in some
by
sort
the
of
time he got
shock,
down,
I
because
guess.
he laid down, he's like, it just went in my leg. And he was like a little panicked, but relatively calm. Like, he wasn't freaking out.
Yeah.
And then he pulled his leg up, and it wasn't even bleeding all that much. Which
Yeah.
was
That's so. I've
surprising.
seen stuff
It was
like
just
that. It's
a
weird.
big old hole in his leg.
You're like, don't look at your leg, dude.
Yeah. You'll see your bones.
You'll see your bones. Yeah. No.
I'm just thinking about you, like, you're in that scenario, and then, like, all of a sudden, like, because I know you used to work at, like, some restaurant or something, like a bagel place, something like that.
Yeah.
You come back out. What was your order? Like,
Yeah.
what did you have?
Sorry, I just saw that kid's bones. What were you getting?
What's the most gruesome injury you guys have ever had?
Had?
I don't know. Like, I don't know if I've really had
Yourselves.
anything gruesome, but, like, I mean, I fractured my ankle, and it's still
no.
larger than
I
my other
had
one.
right here these scars on my arm right here. Charlie, if you'd like to see, I don't know. It's actually kind of a really not interesting story.
Oh, cool.
I
let's hear it.
was walking on some logs that were in like I don't know what you call it. They were just kind of stacked up in like a little fenced kind of box thing. I don't know what you call it. I mean, it doesn't matter. And there was a post with barbed wire fence around it. And I was 6 years old, just walking on these logs, and you know the logs are not super stable, and they kind of roll. And I just fall back, and I reach back, like grab something, and then my arm goes right across one of those barbs. And so yeah, you could see straight up in there.
Oh.
And, it wasn't even that bad. I don't remember it hurting or anything. But I was like, I get up, I'm like, Grandma, I need a Band-Aid. You can see, like, in my eye, I had to go get stitches and everything.
Ambulance.
Where the ambulance at?
When I was 3, I think, I went to daycare just at this woman's house in St. Louis with a bunch of other kids. And it wasn't sketchy, but it was really janky. Like, we all slept in the same room during nap time. And it was just like one big bed, and all the kids slept in a big bed, and all the babies slept in cribs along the wall. I mean, it was just somebody's house.
Yeah.
And she's like certified and all that, but it was winter, and we had all gotten our coats on, and our parents were like coming to pick us up from work. It was like 4-ish, and we all had our coats on, and I mean, it's like 3 to 5 year olds, and she's like, okay, who wants to go grab my shoes from my room? Because she was older and just kind of like, I'll make the kids do whatever they'll do, right? And so me and this other kid immediately were like racing, full on sprint with our shoes on in the house, and like I'm just running as fast as I can. And she had a metal bed frame, and I see the shoes, and I don't know what happened because I woke up on the couch, but what I did before I lost consciousness was I tripped and I fell forehead first on the metal bed frame on the flat metal edge, and it cut directly into my forehead right down to my skull. And so she just put me on the couch, and she was like panicking, but my dad was already coming, and so she met him at the door. She's like, hey, Will's gonna need stitches. And I'm inside. She just
comes out, here you go.
I'm inside in a winter coat on the couch. She put a blanket over me, and I'm just red because it's like 75 in there. I have a coat on and a blanket, and I'm bleeding from the head.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And so I just got stitches right there. And then my dad, I was fine. My dad took a digital picture of it because my mom was working in Chicago. She had to fly in and out. And this was like 2000. And so that was like a weird thing, is like you could take a picture and then that day have a print of it.
Yeah.
And so he printed it out and put it on the fridge for my mom to see when she got home
awesome,
of
dude.
me with this big gash on my head.
That's awesome. I'm here to pick up Will. 1 second.
Is he the one with the head wound?
Oh, he's asleep. Just put a beanie over his head.
Yeah. And she told him that I never lost consciousness, but I vividly remember the before and the after. Like, I remember falling. I have a flash frame of falling. Nothing after that.
For some reason, that reminds me of this story that is not really even related. The only thing that's related is that it was in winter, And this girl I went to school with, she lived on my street in Fayetteville when I went to Fayetteville. And I think I was probably in, 3rd, 4th grade, somewhere around there. And it was her birthday, and she invited a bunch of friends over from school and me and stuff, because I live in the street, and I was a friend. And we all went over there, and it was a snowy day. Not that that matters, but I remember that. And, when you're, young, I don't know however old you are, 9, 10, boys like to chase girls. It's just a fun thing to do. I don't know. You would chase them and whatever. And so we were in the house. They had a pretty good-sized house, and we were playing chase, if you will. I don't know what else you would call it. And so, someone, I can't remember, was trying to stop me from chasing. It was the girl, her birthday at her house. I can't talk, guys.
Stop them
trying to stop me from chasing her.
Like Biden in a
I know, I'm sorry.
Burnt toast, dude.
He's trying to stop me from chasing her, okay, and I'm on the ground, and she's starting to get away, and I reach my hand up to try to catch her, and I pull her pants straight down. And
now he really sounds like Biden.
Bare cheeks exposed, dude. And then she's like... And then she walks away, and it was towards the end of it. We're all waiting on our parents to come get us, and when you're 9, you're like, oh my god, you're like, they're gonna tell their parents I'm gonna get in so much trouble. But obviously, she's not gonna tell her parents that what just happened. So the rest of the time, it was very awkward. And then they're like, Evan, your dad's here. I was like, sweet,
sweet, I'm out.
So
she never talked about it.
So back to gruesome injuries. The only one I can really remember that was pretty bad. I was camping on a friend's farm. It was like a guy's weekend or whatever, and he had a man-made lake or pond, big body of water, and on those, you've got a concrete, you've seen the concrete spillways, whenever it gets full, it overflows onto the concrete spillway into wherever. Me and a friend thought it would be cool to go up there, and because the water was just going over that, so it'd be cool to slide down it. We get up there. I just had some shorts on, barefoot, no shirt, and right as we stand at the top, right in the middle of the spillway, I look down and I realize it's not smooth concrete. It's rough concrete, right? And I'm like, oh, this isn't a good idea. And right as I said that, my feet got swept out from under me, and I slid all the way down it. My heel drug down the concrete. It wasn't rounded; it was flat. Oh, God. It was destroyed, and but the seat of my pants were all ripped up.
You sanded it.
Yeah,
you sanded your foot down.
Yes, I sanded my foot.
Was it smooth there afterwards?
No.
That really hurts.
Yeah,
hurts me to think about.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff, stubbing your toe or scraping your toe on the bottom of a pool, and stuff like that, dude. That, just all that.
There was one time when I was younger. My mom, I forget what was going on, but her and I were the only ones at home. But we were getting ready to go somewhere. But she was kind of holding me. I was probably 8 or 9, but I was kind of leaning on her as she was standing up, and then she had thought that I was just kind of leaning on her, but that I was still standing. But I was full leaning. So when she walked away, I fell over, and my head went right into. My dad used to have he had a snare drum at one point. It was in the.
Don't talk about it.
So maybe you hit a drum with your head.
Well, I hit it hard enough that the rim of it had bent.
Dude, you had a very hard head, dude.
Well, and so I was sitting there. I get up and I'm I was a kid. I was freaking out, and I was like, oh man. She's like, oh, it's not that bad. And my mom, she's like, and so
you just rim shot with your forehead.
And so, I remember. So we went to the place where she was going to Bible study, and she was taking me to where the kids are to play and stuff like that. And just kind of throughout the night, I'd be like, all right, I'm good, and it wouldn't be bleeding. But then every once in a while, I'd be like, oh, there's a lot of blood right there. It would just seep on its own, just so much blood. Right?
You didn't do anything to it. You didn't put a Band-Aid on it.
There was one. He touched it with his hand.
Yeah. That's the
clawed it right there. Yeah.
Well, no, we had put something on at home, but then I took it off, I guess, or something. I don't know, but Yeah, that was.
Can we talk about
Was it the
time,
rack?
Chad?
No,
We
it
got the
was
wreck.
way before then.
I also got hurt really bad in a super minor way at the wreck. You remember what a dump it was? It was literally just a garage. It was a warehouse, and they were just like, "This is where the kids play."
What was this for?
At New Hope Fellowship.
Oh, nice.
And they had a foosball table that had a wire goal on either side. It was wire. And it, enough kids hit it, and it had wire poking up. Like the goal had broken and poked up. And I was running around there one time, and I rounded the table, and I put my hand over it and poked my finger on the wire and then ran away from it.
Oh, God.
And it was so deep I could open the finger up and see the inside of my fingerprint on the inside of my finger.
Oh, well,
So-
that's kind of cool.
There's one
It
time,
was
dude,
kind of cool.
one time I hurt myself, and I didn't realize how bad it was till years later. So I used to do the thing, you know how
A
you
head
used-
wound.
So you know how I wish I had a pen or a pencil. You know how you used to do the thing when you were little. At least I did, where you would put a pen right here and it make it look like you're stabbing your hand, you
Yeah.
know. So one time I took that to the extreme. Do you know what I'm talking about? Okay, well they
I know where they take the lead out, and you're like,
Yeah, sort of like that, kind of, but whatever. Doesn't matter. So point is, I thought it'd be funny to at my desk with my desk mates in 4th grade, have a pencil right here and go like this and make it look like I was stabbing myself. Dude, it was a sharp pencil. I stabbed and cut myself right here.
Oh my!
And not even until 5 years later, I was like, I almost lost my eye.
Gouged my own eye
I was
out.
going hard. I did it hard and it went just right there. I was like,
There was one time in class we were doing this thing. I mean, this was when I was in grade school, 4th grade or something like that, and it was art time or whatever. And we had these they were just almost aluminum flat aluminum cuts, so like that, and we were indenting stuff onto them to make art. I don't know, whatever. And as I'm holding it and the teacher passed them all, she was like, be careful of these because they can cut. And I took it and I was like, huh, I don't think. And then it just cut my hand. This was probably post head trauma.
This is, probably
Yeah.
this was post 9/11. Anytime I hear someone say this was post, it's about 9 out of 10
post-9/11
times
world.
followed up with 9/11.
But yeah, I just remember taking it and I had cut myself.
Did you ever have a kid that could flip their eyelids?
That's weird, dude. Those kids are weird.
Okay, there was a kid in our 5th grade class who would flip his eyelids, and one day you just reminded me of this. He put a piece of pencil lead on the part that he flipped up, but then he couldn't get it off, and so he started crying, but he had his eyelid flipped open. So this one was crying, but this one was open, but still crying, and there was lead, and he had to go to the nurse.
What's the nurse gonna do? What is she, a surgeon?
She had to get tweezers and take the lead out because it was just sitting right there. I was even then I was I'm not like these kids.
Yeah, I don't know. The people who can flip their eye. Can any of y'all do that?
No.
I don't even want to try that.
That's weird, right?
Why would you? No, dude, come on. No gore on the
And here's the
podcast.
thing, I don't even know how to get started. I don't know.
just
How
don't
do you-
worry about it.
How do you discover that you can do this thing?
You're gonna pop your eyeball out, dude.
But I do this thing whenever I start rubbing my eyes, sometimes it squeaks.
Mm-hmm.
And
Wait, what?
my wife absolutely hates
Yeah,
that.
you don't.
Yeah.
Can you make this happen right now?
No,
It only
probably not-
happens
probably
sometimes
not
with
my
me.
contact
Is it
lens.
right here in the middle, or on the
Yeah,
edge right
yeah,
there?
It's just all the
Yeah.
air.
It sounds
air right
it
there.
literally sounds like you're
No, I
taking
can't do that
rubber
right now.
and rubbing it against each
Yeah.
other.
Yeah.
That sound you get when the pickles slide. Does anybody know what I'm referencing?
I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still no pickles.
Have you seen that video of the kid playing the timpani and he's doing a roll and then he hits it really hard at the end and his eye just pops out? It's
I feel like I've seen that.
It's insane. I might put it in right here.
Okay.
All right,
Wasn't that a crazy clip?
It was a crazy clip.
his eyeball came right out.
You know you're not gonna be able to find it now. That video
Yeah,
doesn't
probably
exist now
not.
anymore.
So I saw another theory or theory about how The Simpsons is predicting like the future, and it hasn't happened yet. Okay,
It's a theory or like an upcoming event.
the upcoming event
Okay,
that
gotcha.
that I guess we can be or should be looking out for. So I don't know what episode or anything like that. I just saw a video about it that I guess they predict that Donald Trump dies from some type of illness. Okay. And they were just saying his brother just died last week.
Who was younger than him?
Who was younger than him, and he went and visited him 2 days before he died.
Oh.
They have not released how he died or what he died from.
Black Plague.
So, well, they're saying that. It's. I think The Simpsons even predicted that he dies on August 27th, which is
Yo, dude,
next Thursday.
you want to know
I
what's so
think.
crazy? So I haven't been on TikTok in a long time.
Yes, but that's the thing. Like, I wasn't going to go into that, but that is
No, so on
that's where it
TikTok
came from.
for 3 months, every video will pop up. A bunch of people make it. I think they made it as a joke, but everyone
Yeah.
does it. They use the same date. They say, like, something about August 27th.
Yeah.
Oh, I've
Check
seen a
back
couple
here
of
for
those.
August 20 yeah.
Yeah.
So, but that was somebody on there explaining the August 27th.
Honestly,
like, she's like,
if
he dies on August 27th in The Simpsons. So,
if The Simpsons,
and the 27th is exactly 2 weeks from when he visited his brother.
oh wow,
Yeah.
wow,
So,
wow.
I guess
I would be more scared if The Simpsons predicted I died than probably anything else.
Yeah.
Like if The Simpsons said it, I would be like counting my days.
Yeah.
If South Park did, I'd be like, that's kind of concerning. But Simpsons, I'd be like, I should start making plans.
It's like South Park does it like they like talk about stuff like after it happens.
Yeah.
And like they do a lot about it, but like The Simpsons just makes episodes and then stuff just happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So
So,
Simpsons has also been around a long time, so it's kind of one of those things like when you've made so many episodes.
But they made
kinda
a few
surely-
episodes involving Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Like-
they've all come, like him becoming president.
yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe this is all just like maybe it was misconstrued and his brother dying was
Maybe.
it, you know?
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure the creator of The Simpsons is on the Epstein flight logs. So that's another kind of weird thing.
There's a lot of people on those.
Yeah, but
Didn't like something big happen recently, like a bunch of something to do with Maxwell.
she
the
was
flight
wanting to
log was
get
released, right?
moved.
Oh.
She wanted to move jail cells, and she said her guards were weird.
Also, side note, like 2 months ago or a month and a half ago, we had a podcast and we talked about all that, or just her.
Yeah.
And come to find out, we were like saying her name wrong completely.
How do
Oh,
you
yeah,
say it?
Ghislaine.
It's Elon.
Oh, it's Yelan?
Yeah.
Oh, I said
Wait, wait,
Ghislaine
wait.
We were
because that's
saying
the way,
Ghislaine.
the way the
Ghislaine,
Brits say
But
it.
it's Yolande.
It's Ghislaine.
That sounds
Elon.
right.
Yeah.
That sounds more
Because
right.
I watched the Jeffrey Epstein documentary on Netflix, and everyone said Ghislaine.
Time out. I want to say something. Why do people have to make these names? Like, why not spell it
She's like
that way?
French
Yeah.
or something, dude.
No, I'm pretty sure she's Israeli.
Or so, yeah, she's not
Yeah.
American. Is the point? It's like it's
And
not
a
like
perfectly like understandable Israeli name.
So, like, if I go to... Yeah, I'm culturally insensitive, apparently. I apologize. So, if I go over there, are they going to attempt to pronounce my name incorrectly?
Shad. If you go
Not-
to Israel,
probably be- probably.
they'll
Something like that.
probably pronounce it incorrectly, but they're not going to intentionally
yeah.
Well, no,
try to
yeah.
pronounce it
What's like so when you worked at Sam's, do you remember when all the
Probably not.
Indian people would come in and they would say fox leather? That's not quite
Yeah,
the same.
fox
And they
leather.
meant faux leather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they all say fox leather.
Yeah.
That's how it's spelled.
That happened to you?
Because English is stupid.
It's stupid. Well,
They're like
that's
fox leather? I was
no.
like, we have no fox.
that comes from different languages.
I was like, we have nothing made out of fox.
So again, about Maxwell, whatever her name is, there was that conspiracy on Reddit that there's a user called Maxwell Hill, who's the admin of like all of the major news subs. They have a ton of admins. Of every sub has a ton of admins. She admins almost all of them, and she has the 8th most Reddit points of all time. And she was the first Reddit user to get 1 million. I'm saying she, like we know it's her.
Yeah.
She was the first to ever get 1 million points. Frequent commenter, frequent poster, posted almost one time a day, at least once every 3 days, almost since Reddit was founded. The only day that she hasn't posted was the day that Maxwell's father died in real life.
Oh, wow.
And since she got arrested, that account hasn't posted or commented.
Oh, wow.
And every day, people literally were openly mocking this idea on Reddit. And every day that passes, it gets more weird.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a few weeks now. I mean,
it's been like almost 30 days.
Define more weird.
Well,
it's because
that they haven't posted.
They still haven't posted. They've posted
because she's in jail.
Yeah, they've posted almost every day for like 12 years. And now it's been almost a month.
What kind of stuff did they post?
News articles mostly. But the weird thing is, I mean, there's like hundreds, if not thousands, of comments. They do make comments. What's the word I'm looking for? They make comments
With
insinuating that the U.S. needs to loosen its child sex predator laws. They have made comments previously about how strict they are in the U.S. and how they aren't other places, which, again, without the context isn't that weird, but with the context, it's pretty weird. It's really weird.
Have you seen the whole thing? Like, people are trying to make pedophilia a sexual orientation.
Yeah.
That's pretty messed up.
I hate to
discuss Tom Hanks on here already.
I think so.
I don't buy any of that.
You don't buy any.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, so, I'd take it as you want, but so he posts random like artistic pictures of children's clothing, like a missing sock or a glove or a pacifier or something. It was really weird. No, really, I don't think he posts like any caption or anything with it. But then he just recently him and his wife became residents of Greece, and then
Greek citizens.
Yeah, Greek citizens, and then the next day, Greece deemed pedophilia as a disability.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. That one's a reach, but
It is a reach.
Yeah.
But it's very coincidental.
like he moved there. He really likes little tiny clothes, and then they're like, "Oh, pedophilia is now a disability."
It's like
and he's like, "Oh,
super
that's cool."
coincidental.
He's been wrapped up in the Pizzagate thing for a long time. And
Tell me what Pizzagate is.
So it's way deeper than I can get into because you have to be literally insane to buy into everything about it. But it started with Hillary Clinton, and now it's Tom Hanks. It's a whole different thing. There were a bunch of conservative, right-leaning crazy people who thought that there was a pedo sex ring based in the basement of this pizza restaurant in some small town. And they thought they had evidence, and some dude eventually went in there with assault rifles.
Oh, nice.
And tried to save all the kids, and there were no kids.
I'd be terrified to work there, dude.
But basically, I think the whole Tom Hanks thing is a backlash. I think it stems from Reddit because everybody has said since the stuff about Spacey came out and Weinstein, they were like, well, if stuff about Tom Hanks comes out, then we really can't trust anybody. I think it's literally just, why is Tom Hanks so special? I think it's just morons being like, why is Tom Hanks so special?
How about the whole?
I hope so.
All I'm saying it's called Pizzagate. There were supposedly kids held there or whatever like that. We were told by Papa John that the day of reckoning would come.
He did say it.
The man said it.
And also,
the homie had 30 pizzas or 40 pizzas in 30 days. Okay, the man knows what he's talking about.
they call pornography with children. I'm saying it that way because it might get flagged if we put it on YouTube. They call it cheese pizza, CP.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
I get it.
So it's like the thing we jokingly call it, and it's a pizza restaurant.
I want a large CP. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
I'll get that from the basement. Like, I don't think so.
Give him one of those.
Yeah.
Man, I had something to say. I can never. I don't write it down. I'll forget.
Maxwell?
Along those lines, I heard another theory about somebody else, and now I don't have any evidence. It was just something that was Michael Jackson. Like, he was one of the first that people were accusing of pedophilia. Right?
QAnon.
Well, and he had also gotten abused too.
We'll talk about it in a second.
Yes. And I was just starting to learn about that.
Oh.
But and that was the thing is so he was one of the first that kind of people were accusing of pedophilia, and what I've heard about is that he was actually trying to save the children from
I could see
the
that.
pedophilia ring, and so he had his ranch, and he was trying to keep the kids there away from everything going on. Like, he was trying to free them from it. But because of all the, like, he was publicly had all these kids there, so
Yeah.
of course Hollywood is going to accuse him of pedophilia.
Well, and he did say with his own mouth on Oprah that he slept in the same bed as some of those kids.
That's true.
He did say
So,
I know.
have you guys seen the Jeffrey Epstein documentary?
I've seen some of it. but not
So
the whole thing.
he owned this island that was like a sex island, more or less, you know, and they would like bring people there, and they would make them have sex with them, you know, willingly, and if not, they would make them. And it's just so, like, what's the word? Suspicious that like they said like Bill Clinton like hung out with Jeffrey Epstein. And then when all this stuff started coming out about Jeffrey Epstein, you know, years later, that like Bill Clinton denied, you know, really ever knowing him, and and then they're like, Bill Clinton's like, yeah, I've never been to that island or anything, and he's literally on the flight logs,
like 30-something times.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, that makes you look so suspicious. Like
denying it makes it worse.
Yeah, and like, so it makes you like,
well, there's pictures
how
of
many
him.
people are involved.
Well,
but that makes me segue into the next thing. Have you guys heard of the whole QAnon crap?
I can't even keep track. It moves so fast I can't keep
my
track.
mom just sent me information about this. I haven't like
Oh no.
looked
Chad?
into
I don't know what this is.
So
Haven't looked
super
into it.
super like
She said you would get off on it.
yeah,
is what my mom said.
super simplified version. There's this dude that supposedly knows all this stuff. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't even know a whole lot about it, but he like knows all this stuff about all these people. And
There's a bunch of Republicans on the internet that think they have an insider feeding them knowledge from the White House. And he calls himself Q, and he's anonymous, so they call it QAnon. And they have very weird things.
yeah, JFK's still alive, dude.
It's really weird stuff, and they think they have evidence that backs it all up. Like, there was one time that they were like, he's like, you're gonna know this is all real because the presidential limo parade is gonna honk 3 times. And then as it passed this crowd of people on the road, he honks 3 times, and they're like, he's real. He's real. JFK's alive. Trump is
that's like a
fighting
thing,
the
dude.
Illuminati.
Like that's the thing. Like they think like JFK is like still alive, hiding out in the warehouse or something
Hear me
like
out.
that.
Hear me out. I've seen the video. I've definitely seen the entire inside of JFK's brain
Zapruder
all over
footage.
the car.
Yeah.
But that wasn't JFK.
That dude got shot.
JFK.
That wasn't JFK.
wasn't JFK.
Maybe this is gruesome and terrible to say. JFK's head was literally all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
That
it
dude
was.
got
Even
shot.
in like
He
240p,
got
you can
shot.
see, dude.
Dude, yeah, like
Well, and she's trying to like put his head back together.
I guess it's
What
that
do you
like
shoot
level
him
of
with?
shock or
Is
something.
it like a 50 cal, dude? What do you shoot him with? Did we could look that up, I'm sure, but
yeah, it was
Not
Jamie.
small. It wasn't a
Thought it
22.
was
no, I'm saying it was like a
Sniper
50
rifle.
cal something, just freaking.
I saw this thing the other day, and it was like JFK and Abraham Lincoln were the only 2 presidents with an open mind.
Oof.
Nice. So you know at work,
Oh, look at what's made. It's like a level of disappointment.
Chad, you know at work,
Sad.
you know the crazy dude at work, Miguel. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he like believes all this stuff. Everything Q says, he believes it. Like he thinks that. Oh my gosh, I wish I could remember this. He like went on and was telling. I wasn't there. I wish I was there. I'm off on Wednesdays. He was telling a bunch of guys on Wednesdays how like there's like these. It's kind of like the lizard people thing. Like there's like 5 secret aliens in the warehouse. And
Oh,
like,
yeah.
yeah. And then like he believes JFK is alive. And then I won't say her name. She's too sacred. But stressless lady that helps us at work. She's all on board too. I'm like, no. She's such a sweet old lady, and she helps us with like hiring stuff. She's really good at selling it. And then she like walked in today. She was like smiling like that. And I was like, what's up? And she's like, oh, Russia and whatever about to get taken down or something like that. I was like, stop.
The worst thing about the QAnon stuff isn't that they just willingly buy into all of it. It's that there's literally no way to know if it's the same person posting every
Yeah,
time.
it's probably someone different every time.
Because it's anonymous. It could just be literally anybody posting it. Maybe a
like
couple of them are
Wikipedia.
real. Maybe they're real, but not all of them, for sure not all of them.
Oh no, absolutely not. Absolutely.
And so you can't believe any of them.
no.
The weird thing about the aliens is that there's different alien canons you can prescribe to the deeper you get into this. And one of them is that there's like 5 that the U.S., like the Pentagon, know about. I talked about this last week. The alien that worked at the Pentagon.
Yeah.
Two of them look like us in this canon. The deeper you get, there's a lot of people that say this same thing.
Okay.
And so, you have to make a lot of jumps. It's like, okay, UFOs are real. UFOs are aliens. Aliens work at the Pentagon. We're pretty deep already. So of the 5 that we know about, 2 of them look like us. They want us to denuclearize.
Nuclear.
Because that's how they found us, again, in the canon, is when we dropped the bomb on Nagasaki. That was, I mean, it literally changed the world forever. Like, plutonium didn't occur in nature until we dropped the bombs that we were testing in Arizona. It changed the entire planet when we started nuclear testing. And that's how these
like
aliens found us.
Beacon.
Yeah, and they...
So the plutonium turned on, and they're like, oh...
Yes, and they're like, and they're humanitarian aliens, and they're like, we know where this goes.
And this
it
is
happened
bad.
to us. This is bad. And
I can get down with that.
So
I'd love for
2 of
aliens
them
to be like super cool. That'd be awesome.
So 2 of them look like us and are cool. Those 2 are fighting with another one of the other ones, and then there are 2 more that don't look like us.
Having a
They
domestic
don't
dispute.
look like us, as in they don't look like humans.
They don't look like people.
They don't look like
The other 2 are indistinguishable from people. That's all in this canon. The other canon is they're the gray aliens with the big bug eyes.
How do we know that? Then y'all aren't aliens. Y'all are pretty indistinguishable.
I work at the Pentagon.
So, have you seen
I'm pretty
anything
sure one of
of...
my dogs is an alien then.
It's possible.
I mean,
Have you seen any of the show Hellier? Have you seen any of that stuff?
I've never even heard of that.
Oh.
So, there's a show on Amazon.
It's a documentary.
Yeah. So these people dive into... So they're originally they're kind of like paranormal, like people, stuff like that. They go... and
Scam
check out
artists.
Stuff. And they go to those like big like conventions with all that kind of weird kind of stuff. And
Scam conventions.
Anyway, so they go, and somebody hits them up about this thing.
You're gonna take too long to explain this.
Probably, but I'm gonna try.
You got time.
Chill out. So they go to. Long story short, somebody messages them saying, "Hey, I was told by this person to message you about this issue I'm having, which is." I just bought some land out in Hellier, which is super. It's like if Tawny Town is kind of almost rural. It's even more so than that.
Okay.
So it's in Kentucky, kind of out in the middle of nowhere. I think he said there's like one place out there, and it's a pizza place / gas station. That's like all that's out
all you
there.
need.
And so he said he got this land. He's been there for a few months, and he started getting a lot of like activity from. What he described was people. Will you shush?
No. Yeah, we're right at 20 minutes.
time.
Well, he was making fun.
It's
of me.
fine. You got 2 minutes. Do 2 minutes.
He can't finish this in 2 minutes.
Just cut it.
Okay.
Basically, they go out there, and the dude who he'd had emails with kind of back and forth, it's a small town. Everybody kind of knows each other. Nobody knew who this guy was. Nobody's heard of him, anything like that.
Not sketchy.
They do some stuff out there, and there's a couple places where they kind of lose me, like the whole spirit box thing.
Oh.
So what discredits
Long
this
story
entire thing for me is the fact that the people that are looking at this stuff do weird crap like that. Like they do like hexes and like weird crap. They burn like these weird like plants and stuff in their house.
Incense?
I mean, it's not. It's not like
essential
that.
oils.
It's like it's weirder than that, dude.
Or they do like the whole tariff cards, that kind of thing.
Oh, that is weird. Tariff cards.
Tariff cards.
That's the way they pronounce it, right?
No, it's TAROT.
The Chinese tariff cards.
It sounds like that. I'm
Tarot.
Thank you.
I'm not going to roast you.
Look,
I think it's tarot.
Come on,
Look.
come on. Me and Evan have been looking for something to make fun of you.
Yeah.
well, look.
Tariff
I can
cards.
make fun of you guys all day.
Post a tariff on these cards.
Exactly.
Anyway, well, I don't own any. I don't know what the... Dude, you seem to be very knowledgeable. Have you used these before?
They come in those little foil packs at Walmart.
No. Remember,
Is it like Yu-Gi-Oh cards?
You get a rare one in the back.
Oh, Exodia.
Yeah. Some of them are like shiny.
so
Kill your worst enemy.
Remember
It's ultra rare.
the episode of Nathan for You, where he's helping the business that ships smoke detectors overseas. He was trying to help them find a way to not have to pay tariff taxes on the smoke
Maybe
detectors.
that's where I was getting the word.
Taxes imposed by those cards.
Like the
taxes imposed
like
by the
tariffs
cards.
from the
All right.
furniture we used to sell.
Yeah.
Maybe
Finish
that's
your,
how I was gonna
let's
word
get
it.
back to your
Anyway.
story.
Go back to
You seem to be. Anytime I'm trying to tell a story, you're off on me. Fuck
No,
off.
they said tariff. Like they
No,
started making
I'm
funny
saying
for tariff.
anytime-
I didn't make fun of
Let
you.
it pass. No, I caught it.
Yeah.
It was all me. It was all me.
Okay, continue.
No,
Just continue.
Anyway, so basically, they're exploring these things called Kentucky Goblins.
You didn't tell me about
Have I told you about this? Yeah,
Yeah.
and how there's actually stories of that going back to like the 60s and stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
they've been around for a long time.
30s.
Yeah.
The 30s.
Yeah,
the
it's
first, like,
Old.
30s.
So they end up getting it's kind of one of those things that's like, sort of like the other thing you were talking about a little while ago. It kind of just goes like, you're in one level and then the next level, and it just kind of keeps on going. Like, it's like each, like, 40 minutes is like a new layer. And so they eventually get to the point where they're talking about essentially that they're not goblins, that they're aliens. And
They ain't no goblins. Those little guys are
They
aliens.
called them goblins because they thought they lived in the mines. Like
well,
the old
and that they
mines.
and that's that they
yeah.
kind of do, and that it seems to be, and the reason they have all these areas that they pop up is because they are actually in the Mammoth Cave system, which stretches hundreds of miles.
Oh yeah.
Because
and-
even stores had been popping up in like Virginia
Yeah.
and like couple
Lines
states
up
across.
with the caves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they essentially they get to the point where they're talking about, like, they're comparing all these different things that all just seem kind of have this, like, and they use this word a lot, and it's like kind of a cool word at first, but then they just kind of overuse it, synchronicity of like how the Mothman stuff happened, and then you've got this, and you've got all these other things, and
It's like all of them might be aliens.
Yes.
God.
well, and so they eventually come up with this thing where these people who knew this alien, who was with this whole thing, and how they're like MIA to their own people, and that they were helping us, and it just goes on and on and on. And on.
Honestly, the most I've seen the first couple episodes of this, the most interesting thing out of that whole series is that, like, for a day or something, like, everyone saw a flying saucer in the sky.
Yes.
Everyone
I've heard of that
saw it,
one.
And then, like, we was randomly gone one day, and several
Yeah.
people
No,
saw
yeah,
it.
for like a week at a time, it just sat there
That's really
above
weird.
Yeah,
the
they-
city, and people, like, you could look at it all day, but then they got to where, well, it's not going anywhere, so they just went back to
It's
their
like
normal
District 9,
work.
where it's like that
Yeah,
big ship.
it just
Yeah.
Like
And
the
then
Phoenix
one day-
lights.
and then one day it's gone.
Yeah.
They talk about it, and they talk with a couple people who saw it, and they said, yeah, it was up there, like, it was up there so long that eventually people got bored.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people are like,
Wow.
all right,
Looking
we
at
have
it.
to go to work.
Yeah, like,
It might be aliens. It might not be. I gotta
gotta
sell
have time
I
furniture.
for
got
this.
stuff to do. Like, yeah, it's interesting. You should check it out and then come back.
You mentioned caves. So if you Google this, look up map disappearances caves, because there's the map of frequently disappeared people in the United States matches almost 1-to-1 with the map of unexplored cave systems in the United States. It's like as frequent in those areas where we haven't looked for anything that people go missing.
Wow.
It's not a correlation.
But it's
Well, it's not a causation. It is a correlation, though. It's really creepy.
I've seen some guy, he posts videos showing, like, statistics that correlate that shouldn't.
Oh,
And
yeah. I
it's
like that. I've seen that guy.
It's like
He's
the
really
amount
funny.
of people that die per year, and like the amount of like Beanie Babies that are produced every year. Like,
Yeah.
correlate.
It's like
Making Beanie Babies.
the
Save
average,
lives.
The average price of ground beef goes up in Texas.
Yeah.
ET wins.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I used to know a guy. I haven't talked to him in a while, but he works for the U of A, and what he does is he goes and explores caves and like scans them and stuff like that. And I was talking to him. He drives like 4 or 5 hours, not miles, hours away
goes on
by
the road.
himself and propels himself down these caves. And I was like, dude, what happens if you like break your leg or something? He'd be like, it'd be quite a few hours before somebody
Yeah.
came and got me.
Yeah.
Like, because they know he's going there. But I mean, the amount of time before it's like, oh, something's wrong.
Oh,
It'll be
yeah.
a while.
Well,
and I'm like,
It's
oh
the
my
same
gosh,
thing. Like,
dude.
I mean, there was a whole movie made about a guy that, like,
127
yeah,
hours.
127 hours, where he like slips and falls. Like he's been like doing these hikes and running.
Did you see there's a whole movie about that?
Yeah, I
It's a
watched
whole
the movie.
event
Yeah.
that happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
That
then-
movie is based off.
And then one day he falls and trips down a ravine and gets his arm stuck, and he cuts his arm off with a Swiss Army.
He has to cut his arm off.
He has to cut his arm off with a Swiss Army knife to get out.
There was another guy who was spelunking, and I think he might have been exploring an unexplored system with somebody else. And so he crawls into a crack that kind of looks like this, like it opens on either end, but it's really tight in the middle. Basically, he goes in and it's closed at the back end, and he can't get out. He's completely stuck, and he's upside down, like head down towards the earth.
Ooh.
And his partner's like, well, I can't get you out, so we'll go just get people. So he's basically stuck under there, all the blood rushing to his head. The paramedics come, and they're like, yeah, we can pull you out, and then your legs would break, and you would go into shock and die.
Yeah,
because all the blood's in your head.
Yeah.
And so it was like he's stuck in this hole until they decide to pull him out, and then he's going to die when they pull him out. So they had his whole family come and say goodbye to him, and then they tried to pull him out, and his legs broke, and he died.
Wow.
Oh my god.
And that's why I don't mess around with caves.
Yeah,
I've also seen The Descent.
Dude.
So
I went caving out here near Huntsville when I was in our youth group went like in the summer, one of our like summer events for the youth. We went and did some cave exploring, spelunking in the Ozark National Forest, and I mean I was pretty adventurous, still kind of am, was more then, because I guess I was showing off more and I didn't care about medical.
You had to lift
bills.
that many chairs in front of the chicks.
Exactly.
Four chairs.
So our youth pastor, which is also the same guy that officiated my wedding, he knew that I was pretty adventurous also. So we were in this cave for a good 2-3 hours, and he's like, hey, Charlie, come here. I want to show you something. And we come to this one part of the cave, and there's literally like a hole that like I could fit down in. He's like, hey, you crawl down here, and I'll meet you on the other side. And I couldn't see the other side. I just saw a hole. I'm like, all right. So I did, and I ended up crawling. It was easily at least 100 yards. I was like army crawling, and half of it was full of water.
Oh wow!
And so I got.
I've had nightmares exactly like that.
I was like had to turn my head sideways, and I was pushed up against the ceiling as I'm crawling to be able to breathe, and it seemed like forever. But I did come out into this huge open room with like 3 or 4 ginormous waterfalls, and like he didn't show anybody else, but there was like an easier way around. He just wanted to freak me out and see if I could do it.
Go through this lava tube.
Yeah, he would have felt real bad.
Stuff like that, dude. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, I don't have very many fears, but like I've talked about how like I can't stand spiders. But even worse, dude, like stuff like that, like getting stuck in like a small cave, or like being up like on the edge of a tall mountain, or like crap like that gives me anxiety, dude.
Well, it should. It should.
It should.
But like some people like, love that crap.
And that's
like,
the other thing is, the documentary Free Solo. Have you seen that one?
Yeah.
So he Free Solo's El Capitan, which is one of the highest mountains.
One of the highest scalable mountains.
Yeah.
It's not like Everest where you have to hike up.
Yeah.
You can climb up
you
the
climb
side
up.
of this mountain.
Okay.
He does it with no ropes.
No ropes. Nothing.
Literally thousands of feet.
And this is all.
does he climb back down?
No,
No,
I mean, they drive
he walks
in.
down.
But
Oh.
yeah, but
okay, I get you.
yeah. So it's just like a rock face, like a mountain climbing, like rock
What's this
face.
called?
Free Solo.
It's on
I don't know if I
Hulu.
have the nerve to watch that.
So he has.
But they show up, like they talk to him about. I mean, they follow him for a little bit leading up to this, and he even goes and gets a brain scan.
Mm-hmm.
And the part of the brain that is supposed to tell you, "Hey, this is dangerous," no activity.
I'm literally getting like lightheaded thinking about this
Yeah.
stuff.
So, like,
My hands are sweaty. Yeah.
Like he has, but they were also talking about how that leads to other issues, like he can't keep a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
there's other, because he gets bored.
He was also he's still alive. He has autism.
Yes.
So they had this
function,
theory
yeah.
that whenever he's like up there in the situation that would be high stress, high adrenaline for anybody else, that's when he feels like we do.
Yeah.
That's
Feels
just like he
normal.
completely normalizes.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are like that. Like a lot of those thrill seeker people who are like bungee jumping. It's like they don't feel normal. Like Steve-O.
Yeah.
He doesn't feel normal until he's like on ketamine jumping off a bridge from the back of a truck.
Yes.
And then he feels like I do all day.
Yeah.
He's just like, okay, dope. And then he hits the water and then he has to do it again.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
See, my only thing with like be army crawling through this tiny cave would be like if I got stuck, how are they gonna get me out, and how are they gonna know that I'm stuck?
Well, his youth pastor would know.
I was in high school. I didn't care. I wasn't thinking about 5 minutes in the future. So
Yeah. There's a Japanese author and artist. He draws manga, but he has a story where there's an earthquake and the side of this mountain falls off, and inside the mountain are holes that look like people. And then everybody sees it on TV and they feel like they see the hole that's their hole. And so they basically, it drives them crazy until they eventually go and strip naked and go into the hole. And it's shaped like this. So you basically walk in, but the problem is that it gets longer. So you get pulled until you can't back out. But then on the other end, it's like this crazy inhuman shape. And they start like coming out as basically spaghetti people.
So it's like the pasta machine for Play-Doh.
Yeah. But that's what they look like at the end. It's terrifying. It's horrifying.
What is this?
It's a comic.
What?
His name's Junji Ito. I can't remember the name of that comic.
It's shaped like a person.
It's the exact shape of their body, and so they shuffle in, but it eventually gets longer so that they can't back out because they're stretched. The only way they can keep going is forward and keep stretching, and then that's where it gets kind of like fantasy because they do come out as
like spaghetti
people.
Spaghetti.
Like what's Gumby? They look like Gumby, but it's horrifying.
I was gonna guess like the chick from
Willy Wonka.
Willy Wonka.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I was going. Dude.
Yeah.
That's exactly me too. I was like, it wasn't the chick, was it?
And
It was
Charlie in the Factory. I think it was a chick.
It was the guy who had she was like really limber, but then the dude, the video game kid, he was really small. He had to get pulled to make him long, and he was really lanky and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter.
He's got a lot of really creepy stories. He's got one called Uzumaki, which means spiral in Japanese, but it's this town where this spiral shape keeps showing up, and then people become like obsessed with it and they go crazy. But there's a lot of like, this one woman is just completely terrified of it to the point where she like sands off all her fingerprints because her fingerprints are spirals.
Are you serious?
During a pandemic?
Who's calling?
During a pandemic?
In 2020?
Yeah, he's freaking serious.
Hey, dude, it's 2020.
He's great. Look him up. Junji Ito.
Thanks, Dad.
For the phone call.
Oh, he watches, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's one of our 7 viewers.
So here we go. I'm changing subject here. Something I've just remembered I wanted to talk about earlier.
Okay.
So, Chad, you remember the time you tried to convince your mom was black?
Yeah. That was a good prank.
Yeah, that's not really it, but so I don't know. This is so like out of context now. I don't even know if it's worth talking about. But
It's a much longer thing.
No.
We've got no context.
No, I like the whole. You remember how you tried to convince everybody? Your mom was like, "This isn't about that."
No, and I wasn't trying to convince everybody. I was just trying to convince Evan.
yeah, he sent me when you went on your New York trip.
I think he's still missing it.
Yeah.
No, I see what you're saying.
Evan's
but I'm just correcting
remember
what he said.
whenever you tried to convince me that?
Yeah,
your mom
tell
was
us- tell us about
it's
it.
not
Tell us
about
about it.
that.
Well, so this is really brief. I can't remember why you tried to convince me of that.
I think it's because you'd never met my mom.
Right.
And I was trying to describe her
And
to you.
y'all were on your New York trip for band, okay? And he took a picture, I think y'all did, with a black waitress.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was really nice.
At Hard Rock Cafe.
And he said, "See, my mom's here chaperoning." And I started to believe him, and then I was like, "No, there's no way, dude."
I have a lot of really good pictures of you on that trip.
I hope so.
I have you standing on the top of a rock in Central Park, and you're just cradling John Rhodes.
Nice. Oh, interesting.
That's all the context.
Nice. But
I was
so
going to say, where is this going?
I was nowhere. But I was gonna say, I think this is does your dad listen to this?
I don't think so.
Oh, so I was gonna talk about the snare drum.
Oh, go for it.
Old Faithful.
He won't make it this far into it if he does.
No, and there's nothing to tell about it. But Chad said earlier he fell and hit his head on a snare drum. And it reminded me that to this day, Mr. Jimbo, doesn't know. Does he still think we have it? That I have it?
I guess.
Yeah. So, someone broke into my car. I used to leave my car unlocked
Idiot.
in the links. Yeah.
with expensive music equipment.
Very expensive. I'm so dumb, dude.
Dude, that's a Jonathan move. Oh, sorry.
They don't know who that is. So, yeah, dude, I had a custom.
I won't say what happened.
I left my car. I thought, we're in Springdale. No one's going to do anything. The Lynx is safe. So, I left a custom snare drum that his dad built in there. I left my whole stick bag, because I was a music major at the time, with probably $500 to $600 worth of equipment in that, and then some beats, and all that got stolen. And I couldn't find it. And then one day, Jim just texts Chad. He's like, "Hey, I want that snare bag." And we're like, his dad is the one who built it, by the way.
Yeah.
And we're like, ooh, yikes. And I was like, you got to do something, dude. And so Chad comes back with, I told him you would buy it for $250. I was like, oh, sweet. And so basically I put off paying his dad for like a year. And then like it got to the point where I just needed literally one more week, because I was in Conway. I was at UCA. I was having to pay for apartment rent. And it was, I was a college kid. I was just broke, struggling, and like...
Hustle.
Yeah. I had like enough money to pay for my rent and like gas for the ride back, because it was finals and stuff. And I was going to ride back and work a couple shifts at the restaurant, which would have been enough to, pay him. Mm-hmm. And like his dad was dead set on being like, I want this money now, or like I'm getting a lawyer or something.
He said, he was like, just give me the money or give me the snare.
No, he got to the point, you sent me screenshots though. He was like typing in all caps. He's like, have him send a money order, cashier's check, wire transfer the money. I need it right now. Like, and I can remember what I did. Did I pay for it? I did.
I contributed.
Yeah.
To.
Oh, that's right. We went halvesies.
We
went halvesies. That's right.
To the
True
theft.
friends.
Because he threw me in on this. That's why. He volunteered me to buy this.
Wow.
Because you were the one who got it stolen.
I didn't get it stolen. Anyway, that's it.
Did he get it stolen?
Yes, you did.
Thank you very much.
He still thinks that we
get it stolen.
Completely your fault.
I mean, yeah,
kinda.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's not your fault that somebody stole from you, but you did.
Yeah.
You did kind
Anyway,
of unlock
the point is, to this day, Jim still thinks we have it, and every now and then, I don't know if Chad still does, I'll just go on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace and just see if someone's got it, putting it up for sale or something, and because it was like the best snare I've ever played. And then, of course, I played it for like 2 weeks, and then...
That sucks.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Well, hopefully you learned your lesson.
We can wrap there.
Can we wrap there?
Yeah, let's wrap, dude.
Wrap
60 minutes.
on an awful story.
It's funny.
See, I had one other question for you guys.
Oh, well, let's
So,
cut and then come back.
Okay.
Because I've got something we can talk about, too.
okay.
All right, so I was saying how I think it's kind of crazy that, we've talked about this before. It's no secret that I feel like I'm more conservative or right-winged than left, although I'm definitely not like super right, you know what I'm saying? No, get out. So,
Dude, if you're any part of the right, you are not a friend of mine.
left. Okay. Well, anyway, so everyone at my work, my work is the people that work there are very conservative. And obviously, I had that one coworker that is all for Q and anon and all that kind of stuff. So you would imagine. And like, what is it about, like, it's very concerning to me that like a lot of right-wing people just like believe everything that's like put on social media. Like, what?
They do.
I'm just thinking about the people at the place you work, and it's all just kind of flooding.
We have a classmate. You have a classmate. She was in your class on Facebook who was shared a picture the other day of a Walmart, and people were lined up with their arms at their side, goose stepping to go in. They had masks on, and it said FEMA's Walmart in front of it, and there were armed guards, and she just said, "This is what it's coming to."
I did. Oh my gosh.
Yes, you know who I'm talking
baby.
about? And yes, I was going to say she just had a child.
Oh man.
Oof.
I'm not gonna
I
say
thought you
it.
just said it. That's why. Okay.
And it's just like these. We graduated with these people. We got the same education as these people. It's like when
It's their parents,
you're
dude.
making art based on a logical fallacy. The slippery slope is a logical fallacy because you cannot say with confidence that because something could happen, then it will happen.
Yeah.
These people should be made a mockery of.
To be fair, if something can happen that's bad, To me, it probably
To
will.
you, it absolutely will happen. To you, it
probably
absolutely
will
will happen, and
I
that's
mean,
not a joke.
No one's disputing that.
You were talking about Gremlins earlier, and I wanted to bring up something short, but I saw this on the conspiracy subreddit, which is an absolute dump. It's an absolute...
Sounds like a place I'd get in on.
It's an absolute dumpster of Trump-loving people, and then people who are mad that nobody realizes how much the sub loves Trump. It's all about that. But like 1 in every 10 posts is like, okay, that kind of made me think about something a little bit.
Yeah.
Cats, dude. If there's one animal on this earth that's actually an alien in disguise, it's cats.
Yeah.
They domesticated themselves. They just showed up in Egypt and started hanging out with people.
Nice.
And then Egyptians started worshiping them.
And they built pyramids.
And the Sphinx.
Yep.
The Sphinx, the giant cat statue in Egypt.
Yep.
And now we know cats have a psychological effect on women, especially. The crazy cat lady, it's not just a stereotype.
It is a thing.
It's literally a thing. The more cats that are around you, they carry, I don't know if it's exactly a parasite.
Yeah,
But they
I've
carry
heard it called a parasite.
They carry something that in human women makes you subconsciously more attracted to cats.
That's so weird.
And the more cats you're around, the more likely that is to re-up in your brain.
That's so weird, dude.
If there's one animal that's an alien, it's cats. They just came out of nowhere, basically. And they've been around forever.
Or those things at the bottom of the sea.
Yeah, those are freaky
Pretty
too.
close.
Which
So-
things?
Everything down there. Literally
Yeah,
everything.
in the trench, like where it's dark, and stuff's evolved where they have lights.
And they can't see, but they have, just weird stuff glowing.
Yeah, they all light
They're
up.
like transparent. So, have you guys ever like drunk ordered anything online?
No.
No. Okay. Well, the last one, the last one that I did, it was a decent order, and it happened last week after our podcast while we were all playing games out here.
Nice.
I drunk ordered a pair of shorts. And
Are you wearing them?
I'm wearing them right now. They're
Nice.
pretty great. Yeah.
They look good.
But the one time before that, there was one night I was drinking a lot. And I had been using this, if you guys have heard it, liquid IV. For like hydration, like during the day when I'm working out in the heat.
Is
but
it
it's
new?
Also, it's relatively new.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Rogan
Oh, that's where-
it's
yeah,
a
okay, yeah.
sponsored ad on his thing now. But I had used it for hangovers and it has worked. Right. I had drank a lot that night, and I was thinking, the process through my head is, I'm gonna have a hangover tomorrow. I need something to help. So I get on Amazon and I order liquid IV at 2:00 in the morning, thinking that I'll be fine. I'll have it in the morning. Okay. I woke up the next morning and I had completely forgotten that I ordered this stuff.
Liquid IV.
3 days later, on Thursday, it shows up, and I'm like, I ordered this
I need
when I
this.
was drunk.
Now the real question is, does it work?
Yes, it works.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Wow.
So hangovers,
what does it do?
Hangovers are two things. It's literally
Just hydrates you.
just dehydration.
Yeah.
When you get a hangover. The second thing is, if you've really, really drank a lot, it's the early stages of alcohol withdrawal. That's what a hangover is. It's the dehydration makes you want to vomit, and the alcohol withdrawal is what makes you feel sick.
Which is
That's
why
why drinking
another beer
makes
in the-
you feel better.
Oh, I was gonna say that's why having another drink in the morning is what makes you
So if you've ever woken up and were hungover and drinking like a Gatorade didn't help, you need to drink way less than you did the night before, because that's as much as it takes for you to get addicted to alcohol.
Wow. Interesting.
And with that,
Crew's here.
I think that's a good
I hear
spot
it. I hear
to.
There's women
Stop.
outside.
Yep. So, bye, like, subscribe, share,
hit the bell.
Yeah.
hit the thing.
Repost on your socials.
Repost it.
Yeah, use the app that just hashtag reposts the thing and puts its own thing down there. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yep.
Only old people use it, but use that.
Okay.
Also
Burn a
aliens.
CD, mail it to your grandma.
Yes.
Aliens. That's all I had to say.